explore and mine copper, lead and zinc near Ambaji. We are mining change by improving mine safety standards, uplifting communities around our mining areas, realizing our green vision by reducing operational environmental impact through energy efficiency and resource optimization, identifying and bringing best-in-class technology and innovation into mining operations. We are bringing new energy in our sphere, re-entering the prestigious group of India's Fortune 500 companies, besides being accorded a AA+ rating by CARE. In our journey of transformation, we are building new efficiencies, elevating financial performance, charting new pathways of growth. Our strides at delivering excellence and building a culture of continuous improvement are propelling us, creating greater value for our stakeholders. Ours is an enduring and energizing journey, leading to a collective growth, each step bigger than the one before. Collective growth, each step bigger than the one before.
मेरी बेटी क्या कर रही है सुबह से?
जगह बना रही हूँ।
अच्छा, और अब कैसे जगह बना रही है?
मैं दादू और दादी बेडरूम में सो जाऊंगी। आप और मम्मा यहाँ ड्राइंग रूम में सो जाना।
आपको इतनी टेंशन लेने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। पापा सब संभाल लेंगे।
पिंकी प्रॉमिस पापा?
पिंकी प्रॉमिस।
अपनों के लिए जगह बनाओ, खुशियों के लिए जगह बढ़ाओ।
Three great visionaries, Sir Sundar Singh Ji Majithia, Bhai Veer Singh Ji and Sardar Tarlochan Singh Ji laid foundation of Punjab and Sindh Bank on the noble principles of social commitments towards weaker sections of the society. Bank has embarked on a journey for expanding its footprint in India. Bank has been an active catalyst in driving the country's economic development by financing infrastructure projects, MSMEs, farmers, students, professionals including other sections of the society. Several new services are now available on Bank's highly popular mobile and web application, PSB Unique, and it's continuously upgrading to come up to the expectations of next-gen customers.
Punjab and Sindh Bank, where service is a way of life.
GAIL India Limited, leading India to a gas-based economy, energizing industries, supplying 24/7 clean fuel to energize homes, energizing transportation with CNG, sustaining environment by augmenting pipeline infrastructure, raising awareness for fighting air pollution. GAIL India Limited, energizing possibilities, हर एक काम देश के नाम।
Serving more than 20 million happy customers with around 1,000 branches and over 1,400 plus ATMs that are spread across 18 states and 4 union territories. The bank's well thought out initiatives ensure security and growth for its customers, along with the valuable returns for the shareholders. Our commitment to serve throughout this transformational journey has empowered generations to strive and grow. Keeping the promise of prosperity, we celebrate the 85 years of uninterrupted growth. To ensure our journey along with our stakeholders keeps moving to a बेहतर कल की ओर।
और ये छक्का। दीदी आपने अपने आधे फेस पे टूथपेस्ट क्यों लगाया है?
फेस पैक है, एप्पल पील और दही।
अच्छा, ओहो। दीदी, do you know apples float on water?
Oh really?
Cool ना?
हाँ, खत्म हो गया।
Don't worry दीदी, BB now delivers apples in 15 to 30 minutes.
बचा लिया यार।
BB now from Big Basket. Groceries in 15 to 30 minutes.
क्या दीदी?
Teach me how to live, color my life with love, holding on to each other as we smile, as we soar. SSBM World School, making winners of everyone. SSBM.
पूजा जॉब छोड़ा फिर भी सो कूल।
ब्रो, नए चैलेंजेस नए मौके लाते हैं।
अच्छा,
सीरियसली राहुल, मेरा पूरा घर नाउ इट्स एन ऑनलाइन रिटेल स्टोर। देख।
वाओ, लेकिन पैसे?
कुछ साल पहले दिवाली बोनस को इन्वेस्ट किया था।
और अब तो है LIC का यूलिप प्लान निवेश प्लस। एक बार इन्वेस्ट करो, इंश्योरेंस से सुरक्षा का लाभ और मार्केट की बढ़त का फायदा दोनों पाओ।
वन सेक राहुल।
मैडम, यू आर डबल कूल।
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who haven't already, who are outside the main ballroom, may I request you to start making your way into the ballroom, as we'd like to begin the evening's proceedings in about 10 minutes from now. Thank you.
Ours is no ordinary journey. In every voyage comes a time to change trajectory for one of India's leading mining and mineral processing organizations, GMDC. It meant unearthing a transformational change, infusing capital, investing in processes and technology, building capabilities, generating momentum, creating a sense of resiliency, becoming cost-effective. Through this transformational journey, we are reaching great heights, fueling our growth, enabling us to scale new peaks in performance, and recording our highest financial achievements ever. We are India's #1 merchant seller of lignite, a 6-decade-old organization with a crucial mandate to develop mineral resources that leads to nation building. Besides a presence in the minerals and mining sector, we have a diversified energy portfolio. We are energizing progress As we undergo a remarkable growth, we are strengthening our core lignite business, diversifying into other business portfolios and value addition initiatives. Working towards operationalizing 6 new lignite mines, we aim to reach nearly 50% of the Gujarat market. The need of the hour is to develop future strategies, and we are working with globally reputed strategic advisory consultancies to raise performance bar further, improve competencies, and work towards parity with globally benchmarked organizations. A strategic transformation project has been undertaken, Project Shikhar. We unboxed our thinking, looked beyond horizons, and went outside Gujarat to mine coal at Bura Pahar and Baitarni West in Odisha, thus venturing into expanding our operational geographical boundaries. In our journey, we are proving our mettle, expanding into value-added products by putting cement-grade limestone to commercial use, aligning with cement manufacturers to set plants near us. Under our base metals project, we'll extensively explore and mine copper, lead, and zinc near Ambaji. We are mining change by improving mine safety standards, uplifting communities around our mining areas, realizing our green vision by reducing operational environmental impact through energy efficiency and resource optimization, identifying and bringing best-in-class technology and innovation into mining operations. We are bringing new energy in our sphere, re-entering the prestigious group of India's Fortune 500 companies, besides being accorded a AA+ rating by CARE. In our journey of transformation, we are building new efficiencies, elevating financial performance, charting new pathways of growth. Our strides at delivering excellence and building a culture of continuous improvement are propelling us, creating greater value for our stakeholders. Ours is an enduring and energizing journey, leading to a collective growth, each step bigger than the one before. Collective growth, each step bigger than the one before.
मेरी बेटी क्या कर रही है सुबह से?
जगह बना रही हूँ।
अच्छा, और अब कैसे जगह बना रही है?
मैं दादू और दादी बेडरूम में सो जाऊंगी। आप और मम्मा यहाँ ड्राइंग रूम में सो जाना।
आपको इतनी टेंशन लेने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। पापा सब संभाल लेंगे।
पिंकी प्रॉमिस पापा?
पिंकी प्रॉमिस।
अपनों के लिए जगह बनाओ, खुशियों के लिए जगह बढ़ाओ।
Three great visionaries, Sir Sundar Singh Ji Majithia, Bhai Veer Singh Ji, and Sardar Tarlochan Singh Ji laid foundation of Punjab and Sindh Bank on the noble principles of social commitments towards weaker sections of the society. Bank has embarked on a journey for expanding its footprint in India. Bank has been an active catalyst in driving the country's economic development by financing infrastructure projects, MSMEs, farmers, students, professionals, including other sections of the society. Several new services are now available on Bank's highly popular mobile and web application, PSB UNEC, and it's continuously upgrading to come up to the expectations of next-gen customers.
Punjab and Sindh Bank, where service is a way of life.
GAIL India Limited, leading India to a gas-based economy, energizing industries, supplying 24/7 clean fuel to energize homes, energizing transportation with CNG, sustaining environment by augmenting pipeline infrastructure, raising awareness for fighting air pollution. GAIL India Limited, energizing possibilities, हर एक काम देश के नाम।
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please, if you haven't already. please do start to take your seats and settle down. And if I might request you to please put your phones on silent right away. Thank you.
Serving more than 20 million happy customers with around 1,000 branches and over 1,400 plus ATMs that are spread across 18 states and 4 union territories. The bank's well thought out initiatives ensure security and growth for its customers, along with the valuable returns for the shareholders. Our commitment to serve throughout this transformational journey has empowered generations to strive and grow. Keeping the promise of prosperity, we celebrate the 85 years of uninterrupted growth. To ensure our journey along with our stakeholders keeps moving to a better kal ki or.
और ये छक्का दीदी आपने अपने आधे फेस पे टूथपेस्ट क्यों लगाया है?
फेस पैक है, एप्पल पील और दही।
अच्छा ओहो दीदी डू यू नो apples float on water?
Oh really?
Cool ना?
हाँ खत्म हो गया। Oh no.
Don't worry दीदी, BB now delivers apples in 15 to 30 minutes.
बचा लिया यार।
BB now from Big Basket. Groceries in 15 to 30 minutes.
क्या दीदी?
Teach me how to live. Color my life with love. Holding on to each other as we smile, as we soar. SSVM World School, making winners of everyone. SSVM.
पूजा जॉब छोड़ा फिर भी सो कूल।
ब्रो नए चैलेंजेस नए मौके लाते हैं।
अच्छा
सीरियसली राहुल, मेरा पूरा घर नाउ इट्स एन ऑनलाइन रिटेल स्टोर। देख
वाओ, लेकिन पैसे?
कुछ साल पहले दिवाली बोनस को इन्वेस्ट किया था।
और अब तो है LIC का यूलिप प्लान निवेश प्लस। एक बार इन्वेस्ट करो, इंश्योरेंस से सुरक्षा का लाभ और मार्केट की बढ़त का फायदा दोनों पाओ।
वन सेक राहुल।
मैडम यू आर डबल कूल।
Ours is no ordinary journey. In every voyage comes a time to change trajectory, for one of India's leading mining and mineral processing organizations, GMDC. It meant unearthing a transformational change, infusing capital, investing in processes and technology, building capabilities, generating momentum, creating a sense of resiliency, becoming cost-effective. Through this transformational journey, we are reaching great heights, fueling our growth, enabling us to scale new peaks in performance, and recording our highest financial achievements ever. We are India's #1 merchant seller of lignite.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to all of you to the 5th edition of the BusinessLine Changemaker Awards. I'm Brian Tellis, and I'm excited, truly excited, to host this evening and in the process take you through this celebration of incredible change makers and, of course, their remarkable achievements. Now, the Hindu Business Line, as you are aware, is known for its credible business news coverage, in-depth market analysis, and, of course, customer centricity. It boasts comprehensive business news coverage, offering detailed perspectives on the economy and priority industry verticals, such as agriculture, aviation, automotive, IT, and lots more. Let's make the evening a little more memorable and, of course, special as we honor those who have made truly a significant impact on the world around us. Tonight promises to have some really thought-provoking discussions, some wonderful performances, and many, many inspiring stories of hard work and resilience. So I think we all, starting with me, need to gear up as we start the evening. Before that, yet another request, my friends, to please put your phones on silent mode or switch them off if you can, as it could affect the evening's proceedings. However, having said that, keep your tweets, so maybe keep it on but on silent. We'd like for you to, kind of tweet and post about tonight's award ceremony. And if you aren't aware, the hashtag is BLCM2023. I'll repeat that again, BLCM2023. And of course, tag BusinessLine page. Now, we kickstart the evening with a fireside chat on new education policy and reforms in higher education. For that, we have with us Shri Sanjay Kumar, Secretary, Department of Education and Literacy, Government of India, in conversation with Ms. Richa Mishra, Senior Associate Editor, BusinessLine. May we have you on stage, please? Here they are. Give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, as they make their way up.
Good evening, everyone. And it's Changemakers Award, and change is something which is not easily acceptable to all, and that we are seeing in the education policy also, how some states are going about. Who better than Mr. Sanjay Kumar? And if I may say so, he belongs to a state where change is not easily accepted. So I would like to know if Bihar and Jharkhand have readily accepted the changes the policy is talking about. Before that, sir, is it true, padhoge, likhoge, banoge nawab?
Kheloge, kudoge, to hoge kharab.
But things are different now. Cricketers are, sportsmen are doing very well.
First of all, I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you.
And thank you for the invite and being given this opportunity to speak to your very august audience here. And at the outset, I would also want to say that we're talking about change. And I think nothing prepares people for change better than education. But education also is a very conservative field. And I guess we all are humans and we all have inertia. And inertia is something which stems from Newton's laws of motion. So yes, to a certain extent, We don't like being pushed around, but uh, change is inevitable, that also we know. And I would want to say that some of the changes which we have actually thought of, or the government has thought of, is contained in the National Education Policy, which came out in the year 2020.
So we take your point very well, and I remember when the draft had come, BusinessLine got the opportunity to talk to Mr. Kasturi Rangan at that time also, and he had clearly told us that certain proposals, people have not gone into details and have started reacting prematurely to it. I'm sure over the years, thing would have stabilized. But before I move on a little further, we also saw a period of COVID. And we saw education happening at home. I mean, the virtual education concept happened. So do you think there will be an after effect of that in our implementation process now?
Definitely there would be. In fact, the NEP 2020 was released on 29th of July 2020. And it's almost amidst the COVID. And it took us almost about a year and a half after that to emerge from it, for the schools to reopen. So imagine somebody in March 2020, when the lockdown came in, and he or she was in class 2, and when the schools reopened, he or she found himself in class 4. So entire year had gone by, so it definitely would impact and cause learning loss, and we all are struggling, and we are all finding ways to compensate for that learning loss.
So there's another thing which we are seeing, whether it is school education or whether it is higher education, that we are getting too influenced by the systems overseas. Now, by that I mean, if you're talking higher education, what I mean is the multidisciplinary institutions which we are seeing. When we're talking school education, then various curriculums which are coming into, for that to come in, 10th and 12th, your examination system also needs a change. How do you think one can go about it? And this is also leading to a widening gap between government-owned institutions and private institutions. Your thoughts on that, sir?
Let me just, for clarity's sake, give you a little figures, just to show how complex the Indian education system is. In 50, when we got the constitution, education was part of state. And only in 1976, through the 42nd Amendment, education came into the concurrent list. As of now, we have 14.86 lakhs in the schools in the country. And out of this 14.86 lakhs, 10.5 are government and government aided. The rest are private schools. These schools have 26 crore children. And there are 97 lakh teachers who are part of it. So this broad scenario conveys to you how large the system is. Historically, and even today, most of the schools are managed and operationalized by the state governments and the UT governments. Out of this 14.86 lakhs, Government of India runs only 2,000 schools. 1,253 Kendriya Vidyalaya and 661 Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. So these are the only we run directly. The rest are either with the states or with the private sector. And these schools are affiliated to 62 school boards. CBSE is a primary national level board, which has about 28,000 schools. And this 28,000 schools has only 2 crore children. So 24 crore children are part of all school boards situated all across. And this entire thing, it puts a lot of complexity to us as to how do you streamline. And as we talk about it, I will clarify further.
It's very well explained, but the point which always comes, or the thought which always comes, I have just come from Telangana, and what we find there is that there is as I said, the growing gap between government and private institutions and schools as well. And there is also talks about skill, everyone wants job. So the education system has to be so that it gets you a job. Now, that orientation, if it is coming in, so how does one deal with when the states themselves are not on board?
No, I would not say the states are not on board, but let me give you some of the salient points of the national education policy. First of all, it talks about foundational literacy and numeracy. And it is not something new, but for the first time, it has been made part of the policy. So at what age do you begin? You begin at the age of 3. And it is expected that at the age of 3, you will go to a pre-primary school, spend 3 years there, from 3 to 6. And class 1, age-appropriate entry would be at the age of 6. And then till class 2, that is 3 years of pre-primary and 2 years of school, that 5 years is being termed as foundational literacy and numeracy. And we do hope that by this time, a child actually develops some basic fluency in language, as well as learns to manage how the numbers look like, be able to do addition, subtraction, have a feel for numbers. So this is one of the things which the NEP envisages to do. The second thing it envisages to do is the language problem, which affects us quite badly. NEP says that initial education till class 5 or maybe till class 8 should be done in the mother tongue. Mother tongue is again very complex because in India, across 10 kilometers or 50 kilometers, the language changes. So we are hoping that we should be able to do it in the Indian languages. And there are 22 of them as part of Schedule 8 in the Indian Constitution. So local language should be taught, but then there is a certain amount of aspiration, and the private schools, they capitalize on the fact that many of us want our children to study English and to be able to speak in English, to read English. So English is one of the very aspirational languages all across the country. But then how do you learn in a language which is not your mother tongue? That remains a challenge. And it shows that you learn best in your mother tongue or in the local language you speak, and subsequently you pick up a second language. NEP says, and it believes in multilingualism, and it says that it adds to cognitive power. So these are two of the very salient points of the national education policy which we are trying to do. You mentioned Dr. Kasturi Rangan. So after the NEP came, the government constituted a national steering committee to frame the national curriculum framework. And we came out with a national curriculum framework for foundational studies in last year in October. And this year in July, the national curriculum framework for school education also has been released. I don't know how many of you have had an opportunity to see it. It's a little voluminous, but it goes as to what the NEP says, that we should not have hard divisions between arts, science, humanities, commerce. So it offers you much greater flexibility at the age of, at the school level, maybe when you're going for a class 10 board, class 12 board. It gives you an amount of flexibility so you can learn more subjects. And vocational education is a very, very strong part of it. As of now, you know, we started in 2013 that 9th, 10th vocational education should be optional, and 11th, 12th, it should be compulsory. But somehow we have not been able to create a demand for it. And how do you create a demand for vocational education? It remains a challenge for us. You know, in India, just about 5% of people have vocational education. Whereas if you look at South Korea, it is plus 90. In many of the OECD countries, it is in the 80s. Even in the United States, it's in mid-50s, 55. So we are planning to introduce vocational education from class 6 onwards, where children get to learn, and whatever you learn vocationally also, for that you earn credit the way you would do if you are doing physics, chemistry, science, or any other subject. So there's an equivalence between credits earned academically or vocationally. In fact, as I speak, I'm aware of the fact that I myself, I'm speaking vocational as if it is different from academics. And this is what needs to be blurred. How do we do that? I think the market will show the way, because if you do vocational education and if you get jobs which pays you well, eventually it will create a demand for it.
So that's very well put and explained to us. But talking about jobs, I recollect a big part of NEP is skill development, and the ministry itself, your colleague from there is involved in the entire process. But I recollect the first skill development minister telling us when we had asked him, he said, my job is not to create jobs, but my job is to create skilled manpower. So in some way, does NEP also work in the same thought process, or is it deviating from there?
We want to create children who are well-rounded, steeped in the Indian knowledge system, and not shy of working with hands. And while you are working with hands, you are also not embarrassed doing that. And if the market were to take care of it, I think good things will happen in due course of time.
So on a lighter note, before I ask my last question, so does it mean NEP would lead to IAS not being the final job for people from Bihar?
I don't know. I mean, I am from Bihar, so let me. In Bihar, where are the jobs? So if you're a young person growing up in Bihar, and if you look around, you'll find government is the only employer, the primary employer. If other businesses were to be there, commerce was there, micro, small, medium industry were to be there, then there would be much greater market for the kind of jobs. So I think as children see what they are doing, and I think role model is extremely important in any society. When you're growing up, you see who the people whom you consider to be good, what they are doing. And if you see your people growing up and joining the government, then you also aspire to do that. I don't know how many of you are from Calcutta, but if you are a young person growing up in Calcutta and studying in Calcutta University, I think the peer pressure is to either become an economist or to become a physicist. And if you look around and if you see who the good people are in economics and physicists, then you will find there are a lot of Bengalis there. Or, as a matter of fact, you'll see people from Tamil Nadu. They are also represented well in academics. So local role modeling is extremely important, and if we have to give a choice to people, then we should project that kind of role models to them.
Thank you so much. But one last question. How important is it to regulate this category? Education as a sector, how important it is to regulate?
I think regulation is not a bad word. You must regulate. But NEP always says that it should be light and tight. So whatever you decide to regulate, you must do it well. And you should do it tightly.
That's a pure civil servant or a bureaucrat speaking. Thank you so much for your precious time, sir, and it was quick and a lot more clarity coming our way. Thank you.
Thank you, Richaji. I really appreciate it.
That's right. A round of applause for Shri Sanjay Kumar and Ms. Richa Mishra. May I request you, Ms. Mishra, to present, Shri Kumar with a memento? I think another round of applause is due. Some wonderful statistics and sharing. Right. Thank you very much to Shri Sanjay Kumar, as indeed to Richa Mishra. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a wonderful performance coming up by Ms. Padma Shankar. She's an accomplished violinist and a musical virtuoso who weaves, should I say, enchanting melodies that, in all cases, transcend the boundaries of classical music. Let's give her a round of applause as she will make her way up onto stage just as soon as we've cleared the stage for her. Right, I do believe we are set, ladies and gentlemen. So let's give her a round of applause and welcome her onto stage, Padma Shankar. Oh, I think that was truly wonderful, soulful stuff. Let's give Padma a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for performing for us that not just wonderful violin, but that smile on her face really works for an evening like this. Well, the evening is going to pick up, we promise. And up next, ladies and gentlemen, is, what adjective do I use? A scintillating performance by Ms. Aishna Kuti, a young and vibrant hoop dancer, movement therapy practitioner, flow artist, and interestingly, a business owner. She has conducted workshops globally and organized hoop flow tours to evangelize the flow art. Well, let's give her a warm welcome. Let's give her a round of applause and welcome her onto stage. Aishna Kuti, may we have you on stage. I'm tempted to say, oh, to be a hoop, but I won't say it. But let's give her a round of applause again. I think truly wonderful performance. I was breathless watching her. Quite incredible. I've been chatting with a few people, I'm tempted to say backstage, but on the side of stage. And we're going to end the engagement by way of entertainment with a final piece on the violin. I'd like to re-invite Padma onto stage to just do a finale. Give us just a minute as I think we're good. Here she is, one final time. A bit of a finale coming our way, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, very much, Padma. Thank you, truly. Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to inform you and would like for you to join us in welcoming our chief guest for this evening, Shri R.K. Singh, the Honorable Minister for Power and New and Renewable Energy. Thank you very much, sir, for gracing us with your presence this evening. We truly appreciate it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, BusinessLine Changemaker Awards, some of you must be aware, was instituted in 2018, and in 5 years, the awards have come to occupy, I am proud to say, a niche position in recognizing and indeed honoring individuals and institutions that have brought about positive change to our society. To know more about the awards, let's look at the BusinessLine Changemaker audiovisual. Can we have the audiovisual play, please? Thank you.
Have you seen superheroes? We have. They do not wear capes, but they are on a mission to change the world for the better. At the Hindu Business Line, we have long believed in superheroes. We have met them, spoken with them, honored them, and we cherish them in our hearts. BusinessLine Changemaker Awards seeks to celebrate the real-life unsung heroes, the changemakers, the ones who envision a better world and work hard to make it a reality. Those trailblazers who have true grit, the pioneers who forge a path where there was none. The Changemaker Awards was started when the Hindu Business Line entered its 25th year of publication to commemorate the hidden gems in our country and to inspire the future ones, to thank the harbingers of change who sacrificed greatly to uplift our society. Business Line Changemaker Awards recognizes people through 6 categories. Changemaker-Social Transformation, honoring individuals and organizations who've done commendable work in health, education, poverty eradication, gender equality, women empowerment, and more. Changemaker-Digital Transformation, celebrating those who leverage technology to break all conventional borders and boundaries to create an impact that has transformed human lives. Changemaker-Financial Transformation, recognizing the ones who brought meaningful impact to the society in areas of banking, microfinance, financial inclusion with the assistance of technology or otherwise. Young Changemaker, honoring the under 30 young prodigies who believe in their vision and dare to follow their dreams. Iconic Changemaker, conferring the ones who effected change that has stood the test of time and over the decades transformed the country. Changemaker of the Year, for the undaunted dreamers who effected revolutionary change to the society. Welcome to the BusinessLine Changemaker Awards 2023. Every year, we follow a thorough process to carefully select our winners. We invite entries from achievers across categories. Nominations are screened and evaluated with help of our knowledge partners, Ashoka and Deloitte. The shortlisted nominees are further vetted by our validation partner, Nithi Consulting. An eminent independent jury selects the winners from the validated nominees, who are then felicitated at the awards ceremony. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the grand evening where we will salute the winners of BusinessLine Changemaker Awards 2023.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as the yes, a round of applause really is the calling, because as we just saw on the audio visual, we have a tremendous evening ahead of us. And as you can see, we are readying stage as soon as we possibly can for the next part of the evening. And while that is being done, allow me to throw a little bit of light. You know, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is not just an award ceremony, as much as one might think it is, but truly is one marked in history, celebrating both history makers and, importantly, change makers. At BusinessLine, we are really proud to say we remain steadfast in our dedication to unearth, should I call it, the narratives of these transformative figures. In the process, we are hoping to draw them nearer to our audiences, with the aim, of course, of igniting, lighting up that spark in the next generation of change makers. I know we are all aware that the country is bubbling under with these change makers, and it's evenings or processes that culminate in an evening like this that really kind of get the bubbling under to hit the top. I'd now like to invite onto stage Mr. Raghuveer Srinivasan, editor, BusinessLine, to deliver the welcome address. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Srinivasan.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 5th edition of BusinessLine Changemakers Awards evening in this wonderful venue. At the outset, my sincere thanks to you all for braving the Friday evening traffic and the polluted air outside to be with us here today. The BusinessLine Changemaker Awards are given to recognize exceptional people and organizations that are driving change in society, but yet fly under the radar, unrecognized and unapplauded. It is our newspaper's endeavor to shine the spotlight on these outstanding individuals and organizations, not just through our columns, but also through public events such as this. The accomplished individuals and organizations that will receive the award in the next 1 hour were selected not by us, but by our readers. The process that began 6 months ago with our readers nominating the choices for the different awards culminates in this evening's function. We got 745 nominations for this year's awards from our readers. These were scanned and assessed with the assistance of our knowledge partners, Deloitte and Ashoka. And the shortlist was presented to our 7-member jury consisting of distinguished and accomplished persons in public life. Two of the judges are with us here today. The winners were selected by this independent jury, and we at BusinessLine had nothing to do whatsoever with this. We were mere observers, and we had no role in the selection of the winners. This was an absolutely independent, transparent process. The winners, as you will see in a few minutes from now, are accomplished in their respective domains and richly deserve the recognition. Without further ado, I shall stop here and invite our chairperson, Dr. Nirmala Lakshman, to address the gathering. Thank you all once again for being with us here this evening.
Good evening. Esteemed Minister, Shri R.K. Singh, distinguished guests, our noteworthy change makers, Shri K. Venugopal, founder and former editor of BusinessLine and chairman of Kasturi & Sons, our parent company, Shri Raghuveer Srinivasan, editor BusinessLine, and all our wonderful colleagues at The Hindu. I'm delighted to welcome you this evening to a celebration of innovation, resilience, and determination. This is the 5th edition of the BusinessLine Changemaker Awards. We've gathered here this evening to honor exceptional individuals and organizations who have not only set new benchmarks, but have also redefined the very landscape of change and progress. Changemakers are people of excellence who realize, as Barack Obama said, change will not come if we wait for it to happen or we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. So we are privileged to have this opportunity to recognize outstanding professionals this evening. As chairperson of the Hindu Group, it is my unique honor to represent an organization with a 145-year legacy committed to the pursuit of truth. At every level, from our reporters to the last-minute delivery partner, every individual in our organization has a deep sense of responsibility. It is a responsibility that ensures that our readers are accurately informed and thereby empowered to make decisions based on credible, authentic information. We understand the power of information. It is a power that can shape minds, transform societies, and drive change. We've always endeavored to shine a light on news and perspectives that matter, on stories that have had potential to create a positive impact and drive meaningful change in the world. As a newspaper of record, we practice a journalism that is unfailingly based on truth, objectivity, and authenticity. Our brands, our digital products, and our special publications all strive to be at the vanguard of reliable, fearless journalism, hallmarked by innovation that is tuned into the interests of our readers. We are ably supported in all of this by a team of dedicated professionals who help us to further the business, and I thank them all at this opportunity. But this journey is not a stroll through the park. What truly inspires us and keeps us going is the people, the millions of readers who turn to us every day, whether in print or online, those out-of-the-box thinkers, the visionaries who challenge the status quo, and the change makers who are scripting a better tomorrow. Allow me a moment to highlight a few salient features about BusinessLine. The Hindu BusinessLine is one of the best business newspapers in the country, known for its credible business news coverage, in-depth market analysis, and customer centricity. It offers a comprehensive business news coverage, giving detailed perspectives on the economy and priority industries, verticals such as agriculture, aviation, automotives, IT, and much more. BusinessLine is led by our excellent editor, Raghuveer Srinivasan, and an in-house team of financial and technical analysts and expert business journalists who I am proud to say are taking our newspaper to greater heights. With a total of 8.4 lakh readership, BusinessLine stands as the second largest read business daily in the country. With a digital footprint of approximately 4 million unique monthly visitors and with 17 editions spanning India, for the last 3 decades it has enjoyed a dedicated following among CXOs, entrepreneurs, change leaders, policymakers, agri-experts, and tech gurus. We firmly believe that the impactful change begins with the vision and determinations of individuals and institutions ready to challenge the status quo. The Changemaker Awards embody our resolute dedication to celebrating these trailblazers and visionaries. The intent beyond these awards goes beyond mere recognition. It's a tribute to the power of ideas, the strength of determination, and the beauty of resilience. Our commitment to these ideas will continue to shine a spotlight on those individuals and companies who are rewriting the rules of tomorrow and prioritize people and planet over profit. Tonight, we celebrate and draw inspiration from their stories, learn from their journeys, and collectively commit ourselves to fostering an environment where innovation, purpose, and responsibility are at the very core of everything we do. Congratulations to all the nominees and winners. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi, let us continue to be the change we wish to see. Thank you very much.
Eloquent, crisp, and informative as always. Thank you very much, Dr. Nirmala Lakshman. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I now request our chief guest, Shri R.K. Singh, the Honorable Minister for Power and New and Renewable Energy, to join us on stage. And may I also request Mr. Raghuveer Srinivasan to accompany our chief guest onto stage. Yes, and while you applaud the gentleman, allow me to throw some light. Mr. R.K. Singh is a second-term Lok Sabha member of Parliament from the Ara constituency in Bihar and has been at the helm of affairs at the Ministry of Power and New and Renewable Energy since May of 2019, first as Minister of State, independent charge, and then as Cabinet Minister since July 2021. Prior to this, Mr. Singh was an IAS officer from Bihar cadre and is widely known for his strict policy on not compromising with law and order. He is also known for improving the condition of roads in Bihar. As the Principal Secretary Road Construction, he transformed the road network from being one of the worst in the country to being one of the best. His role in Bihar's infrastructure development is widely recognized by one and all. During his term as Secretary Defense Production, which was from 2009 to 2011, he was instrumental in enhancing the production from ordnance factories, defense shipyards, the Hindustan Aeronautics, etc. Mr. Singh has retired from the Government of India as Union Home Secretary in 2013. Let's give the gentleman one more round of applause, and thank you very much. I now request our chairperson, Dr. Nirmala Lakshman, chairperson of the Hindu Group, to formally welcome our chief guest for the evening with a shawl. Thank you very much. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the BusinessLine Changemaker Awards follows, as we are aware, a robust selection process. This year we have received over 745 nominations, incidentally the highest ever in 5 years. These nominations were screened and evaluated in collaboration with our knowledge partners and validation partners. The shortlisted nominations were then sent to an independent jury for a comprehensive evaluation. Our jury members for this year comprises industry experts, thought leaders, and influencers, chosen obviously for their knowledge and experience. Let's see a short audio visual about these wonderful people. Can we have the audio visual, please?
It has truly been a privilege being a part of the Hindu BusinessLine jury to decide on the change makers. The phenomenal quality of research led to the right kind of shortlists being prepared. And then I had colleagues on the jury who invested considerable time, energy, effort, and intellect in identifying the winners. I have been on several juries before. Let me say that this is one that I found the most interesting, the most absorbing, the most educating, and the most enlightening.
It's truly a humbling experience actually when you sit as a member of the jury, and now I have sat for several years on the Changemaker Award jury, and it's humbling to see how well so many people are doing for India.
A very interesting collection of nominees spanning young entrepreneurs, startups, seasoned professionals, and phenomenal contributors to the country, and of course large organizations, both from the private sector and the public sector. It was a very lively discussion, of course, and it was a pleasure being with this very, very talented and experienced jury.
You know, this is the second time that I'm participating, and every time there is so much to learn. And there's so much to know about the progress that the country is making in terms of institutions that are built, in terms of individuals are contributing to the growth of the industry, to the growth of society and the NGOs.
At the jury, the discussion was very lively and very exciting because all the members were very well informed about all areas, and so we could have a very good discussion on each one of the categories, and also on each one of the winners. I really enjoyed the experience. Thank you, BusinessLine.
I've been very fortunate to be a part of the entire team, and with all the insights that we have put up together, the evaluation process itself being so fair and transparent. I thank the Hindu Group and of course especially the BusinessLine teams who have been working in the past few months behind this entire process.
It was amazing to see the quality of nominations that were shortlisted, and just going through the shortlisted nominations was a revelation in itself about the amount of social change, the amount of digital change, the amount of transformation that is being seen in many, many parts of our country. But I think there were phenomenal entries here, all of which deserved sincere commendations from all of us on the jury. I'd like to congratulate all the winners of the Hindu BusinessLine Changemaker Awards 2023.
Truly an applause well deserved. As you are probably aware, sitting on a jury can be very, very taxing for all the right reasons, I must add. And speaking of the jury, tonight we have with us two members of the jury. May I now invite them to the stage. Dr. V. Sumantran, Chairman, Indigo Airlines, and Ms. Suchitra Ella, Managing Director, Bharat Biotech. May we have you on stage, please? And may I request Mr. K. Venugopal, Chairman, Kasturi and Sons Limited, the holding company of the Hindu Group, to join us on stage to felicitate our jury members. Let's give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Venugopal, may I request you to felicitate our jury members? Thank you very much, our jury members. Thank you, Mr. Venugopal, for doing the honors. And it's awards time now, ladies and gentlemen. The first category of the awards is Changemaker-Social Transformation. This award is given to an individual or organization that has brought about a positive change in the field of health, education, poverty alleviation, women empowerment, and equality. Interestingly, this year, our jury have chosen two winners in this category. I am told that it's the first time we have two winners in a category, and I must add, happily so. Let's take a look at the nominees in this category. Right, the nominees making their way up on our screens: Arpan Seva Sansthan, Ayushman Bharat, Turkey, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Urja Suraksha, Imam Uthan, I hope I got that right, Preservation and Proliferation of Rural Resources and Nature, and Educate Girls. Like I said, there are two winners in this category, and let's find out who the first of our two winners is.
Turkey. India currently ranks 135th out of 146 countries in workplace gender equality, grappling with challenges posed by career gaps resulting from family responsibilities and personal journeys. Neha Bagaria, a Wharton graduate, is a game changer and innovator recognized by Forbes. Neha led the charge to tackle these challenges with iron resolve, earning her a place among the top 100 global women trailblazers, founders of Strong Her Ventures in 2023. Founded in 2015, Her Key, formerly Jobs for Her, emerged with a mission to combat the declining female employee ratio in the Indian workforce. Recent studies highlight that while women occupy 30% of entry-level positions, this number plummets to 10% in management and a mere 1% at the CXO level. With this key that unlocks opportunities, learning and communities, Neha aims to be a beacon of change, pushing these numbers to greater heights for the Indian women. Since its modest inception in 2015 with tie-ups with 20 companies, Her Key has significantly grown, expanding to over 15,000 companies, collaborating with 1,000 learning partners and boasting 115 dedicated employees. Her Key transcends being a mere job portal. It's a movement for women who want to start, restart, and rise in their careers. As of 2023, Her Key proudly stands tall, having served 4 million women, with plans to empower 30 million more. With each opportunity, her key unlocks, it shatters walls of gender inequality until financial independence is equally available to all. BusinessLine is proud to recognize her key as a change maker, bringing about a social transformation.
Wow. I request our presenters on stage, sorry, Shri R.K. Singh and Dr. Nirmala Lakshman, Raghuveer Srinivasan, who will do the honors. I now importantly invite onto stage Ms. Neha Bagaria, founder and CEO, Herky, to please come up on stage. Come on, let's keep that applause going, people. I'm going to request our chief guest, Shri R.K. Singh, to hand over the winner trophy. May I request Mr. R.K. Singh to hand over the winner trophy? I request Dr. Nirmala Lakshman to hand over the certificate. And I'm going to request Raghuveer Srinivasan to hand over the gift bag to our winner. And now, may I request Neha Bagaria to say a few words.
Thank you so much to Hindu Business Line for this amazing award. And thank you to all of you for this appreciation and recognition. It was 10 years ago that I embarked on my own journey to restart my career after taking a break of 3.5 years, during which time I was a full-time mother to my 2 sons. It's at that time that I realized that even if though I had a management degree from Wharton, or I had managed my own company after graduating, or I had managed big teams at my family business, getting back to work required a completely different kind of management skills. I needed to learn time management, how to juggle between work and family. I needed to learn guilt management to stop thinking that I'm going to be a bad mother, wife, daughter-in-law. I needed to learn fear management, that the world had moved on without me and I couldn't catch up. And I needed to learn biases management, with all the people around me questioning me constantly on why do I need to work, or so many thinking that I can't or shouldn't work. And that is why at Herky, formerly Jobs for Her, we made sure that we would help women overcome this guilt and fear and skill gap so that they can get back to work, and over time, they can not just get back to work, but they can rise in their careers. When we started, we had 20 brave companies who raised their hands and they said, we will hire women returnees. There were many others who said, we don't want to hire women, we don't want to hire mothers, we don't want to hire women returnees. Today, there are 15,000 companies who are working with us and not just welcoming women returnees back, but they're also figuring out how they can have specific programs for recruitment, retention, and advancement of women. Because after all, in our country, our women are our greatest pool of untapped talent. And when we make sure that our women succeed, we will all succeed. So this award goes to show what a woman returnee can do. And I really want to dedicate this award to all those women out there who've been told that they don't need to work, or they shouldn't, or they can't work. But more than anything, I definitely want to dedicate this award to my team, who has stood by me tirelessly during these 8.5 years of this naysayer journey and determined to prove them wrong and keep pursuing. And of course, my family. My husband and my mother-in-law, who've been my pillars. my parents who've been my push, my brother who's been my path, and my sons who've given me a whole different perspective to life. Thank you everyone for this, and I just want to leave with the words of Sheryl Sandberg, that you cannot change what you're not aware of, but once you're aware, you cannot help but change. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, and congratulations again. Don't worry, Nehab, your gift and trophy will find you. Ladies and gentlemen, I did mention that there were 2 winners in this category. That was the first of our 2 winners. Let's find out who the second winner in this category is.
Educate girls. Over 41 lakh young girls in India face inequality that restricts their access to the educational opportunities they deserve. Such challenges not only affect their academic prospects, but also ripple across their health, well-being, and economic opportunities, creating a cycle of disadvantage. Safina Hussain, a dedicated social worker with impactful results in rural and urban communities across South America, Africa, and Asia, returned to her roots with a clear mission to address the gender gap in Indian education. Safina founded Educate Girls in 2007, a holistic, community-based program specifically focusing on girls aged 5 to 14 who face systematic barriers, denying them equal access to education and broader opportunities. Safina's visionary initiative goes beyond addressing educational gaps. It aims to enhance fundamental literacy and numeracy skills for all children. Educate Girls resonates in 21,000 villages across Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, and Madhya Pradesh, successfully enrolling 1.1 million girls by 2022. This NGO has pioneered the world's first development impact bond in education, a groundbreaking concept linking funding to outcomes. And in 2018, it surpassed targets, achieving 160% of learning target and 116% of the enrollment target. Beyond statistics, these numbers unfold the stories of countless young girls who were once neglected, marginalized, and exploited in society. They discovered not just an education, but a renewed lease on life, all thanks to the unwavering dedication of Safina and the 13,000 community volunteers known commonly as Team Balika. Educate Girls is a transformative movement resonating through the heartlands of Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, where the pulse of change beats the strongest. Safina's journey, glowing with well-deserved recognition with awards such as the esteemed Niti Ayog's Women Transforming India Award, stands as a testament to her unwavering spirit, propelling this non-profit organization forward. In the tapestry of progress, Safina and her team from Educate Girls weave stories of resilience and empowerment, fueled by an ambition to break down barriers hindering children's educational rights. BusinessLine is proud to recognize Educate Girls as a change maker, bringing about social transformation.
Right. It's our privilege to request Ms. Safina Hussain, founder Educate Girls, to please come up onto stage to receive the award. Here she is. Let's keep that applause going. And as we did with the earlier winner, and will do with the winners to follow, the trophy will be presented to Safina by our chief guest. The certificate will be presented to her by our chairperson. and a gift bag by our editor. May I request Safina Hussain to say a few words.
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for this wonderful, wonderful recognition. I want to accept this honor. It was very, very, very humbling on behalf of millions of girls who are waiting for an opportunity to unleash their potential. Girls' education, as we know, is one of those truly transformative investments, right? 9 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals India can achieve if all girls receive an education. So tonight, I want to accept this award on behalf of the state governments who are partnering with us in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and UP, because without that support, this mission is not necessarily possible. I also wanted to thank over 20,000 Team Balika volunteers who are at the ground level, who are in those villages, every day going door to door to find girls who are out of school, and then mobilizing their parents and communities to make sure that they're actually enrolled in school and learning. It is really their hard work that makes this purpose come alive. And obviously also our supporters and our team. The bad news about the receiving recognition like this is that it makes us dream even bigger and bolder. And so one of the commitments that we are making is over the next 10 years to be able to bring education to over 10 million out-of-school girls. So with that, thank you very much. I am Safina Hussain, and I educate girls.
Congratulations yet again for all the wonderful work that you do. Okay, our next award category is Changemaker-Digital Transformation. And this award is given to a changemaker who leverages technology to bring about change. Let's take a look at who the nominees are in this category. So there is DealShare, Garuda Aerospace, Rapido, Sports for All or SPA, and Stellups Technologies Private Limited. It's time to find out in this category who the winner is.
Stellups Technologies Private Limited. Ranjit Mukundan, along with a group of tech experts having 2 decades of industry expertise, led the establishment of Stellups in 2011. Their aim was to introduce a paradigm shift in India's dairy farming industry. In the heart of India's dairy landscape, a silent revolution unfolded as Stellups Technologies dared to challenge the norms in the following years. In a sector that faces several challenges such as low productivity, inadequate quality inputs, scarcity of veterinary services, restricted access to credit, and various obstacles, Stellups strategically harnessed the power of cutting-edge technologies like the Internet of Things, IoT, sensors, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, among others, for digitizing the dairy ecosystem of India, right from the farm level till the consumer doorstep, to revolutionize the traditional practices of India's dairy farmers. Their suite of farm-side applications, including Moon and Smart Farms,
alongside MooMark, MooPay, and MooGrow,
empowers farmers with digital tools for efficient herd management and informed decision-making, maximizing profits while minimizing effort. Despite its slow beginning, This IIT Madras incubated Bengaluru-based startup has experienced substantial expansion and adoption by farmers since 2019. Today, Stellapps has a positive impact on over 3.5 million farmers across 41,000 villages in 15 states, elevating farmer profitability by 65%, achieving 160% higher market pricing and facilitating transactions worth more than rupees 420 crores. Stellapps represents a commitment to sustainability. Even with the substantial flow of 14 million liters per day through its tech system, their technology consumes 25% less energy, while emissions are lower by 55%, laying the foundation for a resilient, future-ready dairy sector, a testament to Stellapps' commitment to a greener, more sustainable tomorrow. BusinessLine is proud to recognize Stellapps Technologies Private Limited as a changemaker which has brought about a digital transformation.
Congratulations, and I request Mr. Ranjit Mukundan, Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of Stellapps Technologies Private Limited, to please join us on stage. Let's keep that applause going as he makes his way up onto stage. And yet again, he will receive his trophy at the hands of our chief guest. Request the chairperson to present him with the certificate. And a little gift bag from our editor. May I request Mr. Ranjit Mukundan to say a few words.
Good evening. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, BusinessLine, for this wonderful award. Really means a lot to us. And we look up to people like you with 145 years of legacy as an inspiration. Thank you for that. Thank you, jury members, for supporting this. Thank you for feeling, sort of vindicating our hypothesis that cows also need Fitbits. You can do things like facial recognition of animals to digitize them. And also cows can get on the cloud. So thank you for believing in that hypothesis, because when we started 13 years ago, none of people believed it's possible, especially in Indian context. I was telling the minister that our technology is today deployed in really difficult places, including our really remote areas where network connectivity is not that great. I still remember times when to send data to the cloud, we would actually first transfer the data to the a person's mobile phone, and that person would then cycle. And then eventually the network would come up and the data would go to the cloud. But today it's much better, thanks to the government infrastructure, thanks to Aadhaar, thanks to the mobility. That problem is well and truly solved. 3.5 million farmers on our platform in 42 states would not have been possible without the support of a larger ecosystem. The government, of course, is the biggest supporter. We've had incredible support from the Technology Development Board, DIT, MITI, we're these Government of India recognized startup. So we got a lot of support from you. Thank you, sir. You're part of that machinery for that support. We were incubated at IIT Madras. Professor Ashok Junjunwala and team have been very ardent supporters to make this happen. So a lot of kudos to them. I'd also need to call out my family, my wife and daughter are here, and my parents. Thank you, JLo. Thank you, Shreya. Because there's been a lot of discussion about 70 hours a week, but when we took the plunge and did that, it's like we feel anything below 100 hours a week is tough. So without the family support, that's the only thing we do. We wake up in the morning and then we sleep at night. Everything in between is work, or everything in between is life, which happens to be work. We've been also ably supported to reach these 3.5 million farmers with a good bunch of investors. So we've had backers like Qualcomm, Gates Foundation. Gates Foundation did their first ever equity investment in India, it was. And when I actually met Bill Gates in 2016, we were one of the 4 shortlisted companies, and he said, if you can actually make this work in places like Eastern UP and Bihar, who happen to know Bihar and Eastern UP really well, he said, then you can actually take this in any other part of the planet, because those are some of the hardest parts of the planet. And if you're able to digitize those villages, that dairy, you can then certainly take it everywhere else. We had Omnivore, we had IDH, Farm Fit Fund. We had new generation debtors like Stride Ventures and Samunati and Avanti support us. A whole slew of people which made this happen. Really appreciate BusinessLine and the team for supporting us. So look forward to doing more. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and congratulations yet again. Right, some wonderful stories coming at us, and like I keep saying, it will continue to as the evening unfolds. We move to the next category, which is Changemaker-Financial Transformation. This award is given to those who have transformed society in the areas of financial inclusion, microfinance, banking, and so on, by adopting modern technology or otherwise. Let's look at who the nominees are. Aniket Deogar for Hakdarshak Empowerment Solutions, Chetna Galasena for Mandeshi Bank, Lakshmi Venkatraman Venkatesan for Bharatiya Yuva Shakti Trust, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana or PMIDY, and SIDBI, Small Industries Development Bank of India. Wonderful nominees. One of them will come out on top, though credit must go to all our nominees through the evening. Having said that, let's find out who the winner in this category is.
Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana.
The Government of India at the forefront of its grand transition in 2014 launched
Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana
under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Growing from 1 account per household to 1 account per adult, it now constitutes nearly 1 in 5 deposit accounts. With over half of these accounts held by women and 2/3 situated in rural, semi-urban areas, it has revolutionized financial inclusion, particularly benefiting economically weaker sections and marginalized communities. In addition to offering bank accounts, the
Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana
overhauled banking convenience by providing door-to-door account openings, RuPay debit cards, and overdraft facilities. Most importantly, it laid the foundation for the Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile JAM Trinity, ensuring the leak-proof transfer of government funds. Whether it's COVID-19 financial assistance, the PM Kisan initiative,
increased wages under Manrega or life and health insurance cover,
Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana is a cornerstone for people-centric economic initiatives. Its journey, marked by an entry into the Guinness World Records within the first week, serves to exemplify its recognition and global significance. As of August 9, 2023, this financial inclusion program has 56% women account holders, with 67% of the accounts opened in rural semi-urban areas. The total deposits today surpass over 2.03 lakh crore, and close to 5.5 crore accounts are receiving direct benefit transfers. With over 50 crore accounts today, the impact of the
Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana
has been nothing short of monumental. It is a beacon of empowerment, illuminating the path to a future where every individual, regardless of background, can thrive financially. BusinessLine is proud to recognize the Government of India's
Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana
as a change maker, which has brought about a financial transformation.
An applause well deserved. May I request Shri Prashant Kumar Goyal, Joint Secretary, Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Finance, to receive the award. Here he is. Let's give him a round of applause. I request our chief guest to present the trophy. Our chairperson will present the certificate. And a gift bag from our editor. May I request Shri Prashant Kumar Goyal to say a few words.
Thank you. It's a privilege for me in accepting this award on behalf of DFS, Ministry of Finance, Government of India. And I feel truly humbled and honored in accepting this award on behalf of the department. This award is a recognition of the impact which visionary policies of the government can make in the lives of its citizens, whether they are in the urban areas or in far-flung rural areas. This award is also the recognition of commitment, dedication, and tireless efforts made by all former and present officers, employees of DFS, the top management of the banks, and also lakhs of bank employees who worked tirelessly over the years for making the scheme a success. And as of now, as just briefed in the video, we are able to add almost 51 crore people and to bring them in the fold of the scheme. And we are not stopping here. Every year, we are adding almost 3 crore new people and giving them the facility of the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan accounts, basic saving accounts. Sincere thanks to the BusinessLine for conferring the department with this honor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Congratulations to you and your team. And friends, our next category of awards is Young Changemaker. As the name suggests, this award is given to a changemaker who is below 30 years of age. The nominees in this category are Akar Shroff for Yuva Speak, Srinidhi R.S. for Cherry Learn, Empower Magazine, Krishna Sapru for Monitva, Nirakan, Alina Alam for Miti Cafe, and Rishikesh Amit Nayak for Kisan Now. let's find out who the winner is in this category of young
Srinidhi
changemakers.
RS, Cherry Learn. Amid the ever-growing EdTech sector, one individual is redefining education by transforming it at the roots and gamifying the traditional concept of studying. 21-year-old Srinidhi RS, hailing from Kaladka, a village in Bantwal Taluk in Dakshina Kannada district of Karnataka state, has been a tech enthusiast since a young age, making use of a few resources he had to learn, grow, and reach where he is today. Srinidhi's visionary concept materialized in the form of Cherry Learn, designed for students in standards 1 to 5 in Tier 3 and Tier 4 towns and villages. Cherry Learn goes beyond mere business models, aiming to make education accessible for the underprivileged and, in doing so, relieve school-going kids from the difficult challenges of learning. The focus was not only on accessibility, but also on making the educational journey enjoyable. Cherry Learn gamifies lessons in regional languages for young learners. Each math and language lesson is a thrilling journey where they ascend levels as they conquer questions. And the cost? A mere 1 rupee a day, making quality education accessible to all. With close to 25,000 topics for everyone in the target age group, Cherry Learn has garnered over 1 lakh downloads across 1,200 cities since its launch in 2021, while simultaneously creating job opportunities for 40 individuals, highlighting the ripple effect of his mission. Today, Cherry Learn offers a staggering 25,000 topics for everyone in the target age group. In a world where education is a cornerstone of progress, Srinidhi is a testament to what dedication, innovation, and unwavering commitment can achieve. BusinessLine is proud to recognize Srinidhi RS as the Young Changemaker.
May I request Mr. Srinidhi RS, co-founder and CEO, Cherry Learn, to join us on stage, please. And as we have been doing, I'm going to request our chief guest to hand over the trophy or present the trophy to our winner. Our chairperson to hand over the certificate. And our editor to hand over a gift bag. I now request Srinidhi RS to address us, please.
Namaste to one and all present over here. Before I could say anything, I am humbled, overwhelmed, nervous all at a time, right? So I am very grateful for the Hindu group and BusinessLine for recognizing the jury members and Honorable Minister and all the dignitaries in the dais. And the award category is Young Changemaker, and I am being awarded with the Young Changemaker Award. But there are, lot of gray hair and white-haired people, supporting behind me, be it, investors or, board members or my, volunteers. So I would also remember them. So while accepting this award happily. When the event just started, Shri Sanjay Kumar sir put a light on the education system in India. So as a matter of fact, close to 122 million students are studying in primary classes currently. And India is one of the youngest population in the world, but to align the vision towards national progress, it's important that this young population is educated and upskilled. So that's where we focused on solving the problem of providing affordable education and upskilling courses at 1 rupee per day, or else very affordable cost. And not only English, but also vernacular language, because majority of the population in India speak vernacular language. So we cannot, always the debates we see here and there, social medias wherein people fight over languages and regional, this things happens. But as a Indian subcontinent, looking like English point of view or Hindi point of view will actually not make sense, because that is a beauty of the country. So that's the reason, along with English, Hindi, we are on efforts of launching this particular platform in each and every vernacular language. So by the year 2026, we want to educate and empower 5 million students. So we are on that path. And once again, I thank each and everyone. And while I say this, maybe I might have forgot mentioning few people's name, as the Sanskrit saying goes, ekame vaksharam yastu guru shishya nivedayat pratavyam nasti tadravyam vedat. So even if somebody thought one single letter, we cannot actually give them a gift or something. So throughout this journey, whoever helped, so I am grateful to each and everyone. Thank you.
Wow. And the bar keeps getting raised, and I am absolutely sure that will continue to happen. Our next category is the iconic changemaker. This award, ladies and gentlemen, is given to an individual or an organization that has brought about a significant change and transformed the country. Unlike other categories, we do not invite nominations for the iconic changemaker, and the jury picks a winner from a list that is drawn up in collaboration with our knowledge partners Deloitte and Ashoka. It's time to find out who the winner is.
Amul was founded in 1946 with the inspiration of Sardar Patel and the guidance of former chairman Tribhuvan Das Patel and Morarji Desai as a cooperative. Later, under Dr. Verghese Kurian and dairy technologist H.M. Dalaya, Amul revolutionized India's dairy landscape with the unwavering spirit and dedication of millions of farmers who contribute with each drop of milk. Often referred to as the milkman of India, Dr. Verghese Kurian began his journey with Amul in 1950, serving as a driving force behind its transformation and heralding a revolution in the Indian dairy industry. His unwavering dedication and profound passion for the cause ultimately forged a lifelong commitment to Amul and the dairy sector. Dr. Verghese Kurian ushered in Operation Flood in the 1960s, expanding cooperatives nationwide, empowering communities of women, fueling the local economy, and setting the stage for the beloved Amul Butter Girl. And just a few years later, in 1973, the Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation became Amul's marketing arm, shaping its enduring legacy. Today, an astonishing 80 to 85% of the earnings from Amul's products flow back to the farmers. It's a financial support system unparalleled in the world. Amul's story has blossomed into a landscape of boundless growth, with India's favorite dairy brand now standing at a monumental force in the present day, uniting 3.6 million farmers in a shared dream through over 18,000 village dairy cooperatives.
With 30 million liters of milk processed daily, Amul's influence in the Indian dairy landscape is undeniable.
The sector is growing steadily at a rate of 4 to 5% annually, which translates to an additional 30 million liters of milk produced every year. This colossal growth helped Amul's group turnover to rise to 72,000 crore in the fiscal year 2023. It's a figure that even challenges industry giants across the globe. It is predicted that India will become the world's dairy hub in the next decade, contributing 30% to global milk production by 2033. Amul's journey from a milk producer to a transformative model uniting farm producers and consumers embodies the spirit of resilience and prosperity. More than a brand, Amul is a testament to what's possible when trust fuels a nation, making it the true iconic changemaker. BusinessLine is proud to recognize and reward Amul as an iconic changemaker.
We are privileged to have with us Jayan Mehta, Managing Director, Amul. May we request you to join us on stage, please. And ladies and gentlemen, there will be a citation presented, and I would like to read it out. Amul is a much-loved brand that touches the lives of millions of Indians. The utterly buttly Amul girl with a ponytail and polka-dotted frock has given generations of Indians many reasons to laugh over the years. The story of Amul mirrors India's freedom struggle, even as the country was nearing the end of its battle for freedom from the British. In Anand, Gujarat, a revolution was taking place. In 1946, dairy farmers at the mercy of exploitive middlemen in the milk trade were prodded by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel to form and run their own cooperative that would directly market the milk they produced. With the inspiration of Sardar Patel and under the guidance of founder chairman Tribhuvan Das Patel and Morarji Desai, Amul was founded as a cooperative. Later, under the legendary Dr. Varghese Kurian and dairy technologist H.M. Dalaya, Amul revolutionized India's dairy landscape. The formidable triumvirate built up Amul into an institution, nonetheless, that India can be proud of. The milk producer has always remained central to the Amul model, with around 80% of the sales going back to the farmers. Procuring more than 3 crore liters of milk a day, Amul has a turnover of 72,000 crores, making it the largest FMCG brand in India. With over 50 categories of products, India currently contributes about a fourth to the global milk production, and this share is set to go up to 30% by 2033. Amul, which is present in over 50 countries, has set itself an ambitious target of reaching a turnover of 1 lakh crore in the next couple of years. Amul is BusinessLine's iconic change maker for its transformation from a milk processor to a model that can transform an economy while taking along the farmer community and becoming a brand that is loved by consumers. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe now present the trophy. Oh, it's done? Okay. May I request you to say a few words? Yes. Okay, we'll present the citation first and the gift bag from the editor.
Good evening and namaskar. On behalf of 3.6 million women change makers of Gujarat who own the Amul brand. It's a great honor and a privilege to accept this recognition. We saw the story, we heard the words which were spoken. But in 1946, when Hindu was about 77 years old, we started this journey. And with 2 village cooperative societies and 247 liters of milk, this is a journey which has crossed now more than 300 lakh liters of milk every day. 10 billion liters of milk, making us the 8th largest dairy company in the world. But more importantly, the strongest dairy brand in the world and the 2nd strongest food brand in the world. And this cooperative model actually, and we see this as a recognition not of Amul brand or the 3.6 billion farmers and so on. It is the recognition of the cooperative model, which has demonstrated that when people come together, and these are not the people who have everything in life, these are the marginal section of the society, the small farmers, the women milk producers. If they come together and form a cooperative, this is a cooperative which can not only change their lives, but also the destiny of a country and the pride which we all have in India being the largest producer of milk in the world, and cooperative showing a way of a model of development, not just of the dairy sector, but now through the new Ministry of Cooperation, several other sectors which cut across different categories, different products, but more importantly, with the single vision of transforming the country and unleashing the power of small and marginal sections of the society to make India earn a place which is bigger and brighter than what it is currently. So we would like to thank this BusinessLine group for this recognition. And now, since the Honorable Minister of Power and the Renewable Energy is there, and we heard Dr. Nirmala talk about how organizations are concerned about the planet. Sir, let me tell you the steps we are taking into strengthening the circular economy of the country, which will empower not just the producers, but also the planet. As you know, cow gives milk for 300 days in a year. That's the lactation cycle. But cow produces dung every day. And with the large number of cattle that we have started the process, again through our cooperatives, to collect the dung. From the dung, what you get is methane. And that becomes a biogas, which can light a stove in the house of a farmer to run cars. And then what is left behind is also a biofertilizer, which goes to the fields, and consumers like us can get food which is produced without chemical fertilizers. It solves so many problems in one shot. The farmer gets additional income from the dung the cow produces. We import a lot of fuel, we import a lot of fertilizers. So the import bill comes down. And more importantly, the consumers also get food without the chemical fertilizers. So it's a win-win situation. And what's more the technology you adopt, from this methane, which is CH4, you can extract the hydrogen. And once you produce hydrogen, that is the cleanest form of energy. And this is what is the direction, sir, we are moving on to. We have already experimented with several of the projects, both the small scale and the large scale. And this will transform actually Amul, not just from a food company or a dairy company, into an energy company. And this is the collective might of the small farmers of Gujarat, of the farmers of India, into building what is called the energy security. And not only that, the Biofuel Alliance, which Honorable Prime Minister announced, is what will come into a reality. Honorable Prime Minister in the G20 also talked about the women-led development. And this is also a model which demonstrates the power of women in leading onto this. We talked about financial inclusion. Today, out of the 200 crore rupees which goes cash every day to the accounts of the farmers, 1/3 of that goes directly in the bank account of the women. So this is what is a journey which is all-encompassing, taking care of the social transformation, inclusiveness, employment, job opportunities, and more importantly, nutrition and Atmanirbharta for 1.4 billion people for a vital item like milk and dairy in our lives. And we would like to thank once again the BusinessLine Group for this recognition. And before I leave, you will see only 2 people at 5 o'clock every morning on the road. One is the newspaper walas and second is the doodh walas. And always remember that these are the 2 set of change makers who are working day in and out to make life good and interesting for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Besides, of course, the wonderful, wonderful work, the sense of humor can't be left out. the final category in the flagship Changemaker of the Year. That has brought about far-reaching change in society, the impact of which has been felt significantly in the last year or more. Yes, can we see the nominees, please? Integral Coach Factory, ICF, International Financial Services Centers Authority, V. Kamakoti, Director, IIT Madras, Open Network for Digital Commerce, or ONDC, and Reserve Bank of India, Governor Shaktikanta Das. Let's find out who the winner is.
Reserve Bank of India, Governor Shaktikanta Das. If the Indian economy and financial system have sailed smoothly through stormy waters in the last 3 years, credit for this should go to the Reserve Bank of India, which has proved both a prudent and proactive central bank
under Governor Shaktikanta Das, a seasoned ex-bureaucrat.
At the onset of the pandemic, RBI helmed efforts to supplement the government's fiscal relief packages with targeted monetary measures of its own, which cushioned the most vulnerable sections from hardships. RBI offered special lines of liquidity to sectors ranging from healthcare and microfinance to small businesses and hospitality, to help MSMEs and retail borrowers tide over loss of incomes. It introduced loan restructuring and temporary moratoriums. Unlike its global counterparts though, RBI, helmed by Governor Das, engineered an early rollback of the monetary stimulus by the end of 2021, despite calls for continued relief. This proactive rollback ensured that the stimulus measures in India didn't stoke inflation or create systemic issues. Even as COVID was in its last legs, RBI acted proactively to safeguard the health of banks and lenders by lifting loan moratoriums, enforcing Basel III capital norms, and ushering in scale-based regulation for non-banking financial companies. Consequently, both banks and non-banking financial companies in India emerged from the COVID-19 stress with historically low levels of NPAs and healthy capital reserves. In early 2022, unexpected global inflation emerged, driven by the Russia-Ukraine conflict and COVID supply disruptions, posing challenges for consumers. India saw its CPI inflation rise from 4.4% in October 2021 to over 7.79% by May 2022.
The MPC effected 250 basis points of repo rate hikes until April 2023,
before calling a timely pause. They struck a balance between controlling inflation and sustaining economic growth, something central banks worldwide are still grappling with. CPI inflation numbers have subsided from 7.44% in July to 5.02% in September. From staunchly opposing cryptocurrencies to fostering innovation in India's digital payments and UPI, using a regulatory sandbox for fintech firms. The RBI, under Governor Das, though often perceived as conservative, has embraced a progressive stance on genuine innovation. It has actively encouraged the growth of India's digital payments ecosystem and unified payments interface. RBI's creditable contribution to steering the economy and financial markets in the recent years, with resilience and innovation, set an inspiring example. BusinessLine is proud to recognize and award the Reserve Bank of India and Governor Shaktikanta Das as the Changemaker of the Year.
May I request the Governor, Shaktikanta Das, to join us on stage. And like I did, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to read out a citation. The last 3 years have been rather turbulent for India's economy and its financial system. First came the pandemic, and just as the economy was beginning to recover, it was hit by the war in Ukraine. The one institution that stood by in support of the economy, shining like a beacon, was the Reserve Bank of India, the RBI. With a steady hand at the wheel in the form of Governor Shaktikanta Das, the RBI employed the right mixture of prudence, pragmatism, and regulatory forbearance to guide the economy out of choppy waters. When COVID hit, the RBI quickly dropped the repo rate to a historic low of 4% and ensured adequate liquidity and credit was available in a timely and targeted manner to the borrowers who most needed it. When COVID passed, the RBI was prudent enough to roll back these measures quickly. The central bank kept up its stringent regulation of banks and NBFCs through the tough times. Thus, India's lenders were primed to cater to receiving credit demand as the economy bounced back. While central banks in the West struggled, RBI adroitly steered monetary policy to strike the right balance between inflation and growth in India. After the 250 basis point rate hikes between May of 2022 and April 23, it has wisely looked through seasonal bouts of inflation to enable growth. The RBI has always had a reputation for conservatism. Under Governor Das, it has been a champion of innovation as well, nurturing India's world-beating digital payments ecosystem with enabling regulations. It has rightly opposed legalizing of cryptocurrencies. In a refreshing change from the past, the RBI and the government have worked together harmoniously in crafting policies that have powered the economy. Credit for this give and take must surely go to the seasoned ex-bureaucrat at the RBI's helm, Governor Shaktikanta Das. The BusinessLine Changemaker of the Year award goes to the Reserve Bank of India under the stewardship of Governor Shaktikanta Das. May we have the presentation of the citation by the editor and the certificate. The trophy just presented by our chief guest. The citation. Okay, from the look of things, we're going to have a bit of a tete-a-tete.
Congratulations, Governor Das. This is a recognition of the Reserve Bank's adroit handling of monetary policy and regulations over the last 3 years, and especially since the interest rate cycle turned a year and a half ago. I would like to ask you 2 or 3 questions very quickly. The first is, you will go down in history as the only governor of the Reserve Bank of India who had the job to guide the country and the economy during a calamity that the country faced. Not just the people, even the economy. Now, I would like to understand from you your thought process when you were so hyperactive, superactive, I should say, during the COVID period. The moment COVID was announced, you opened up communication with the markets, with the press very quickly, going in front of the cameras, addressing people. Now, what was your thought process when you went through that difficult period helming the RBI?
Well, good evening, and thank you, Raghuvarji, for asking that question. But before that, I just want to, with the permission of the dignitaries, I would like to say that I am receiving this award on behalf of more than 13,000 employees and officers of the Reserve Bank of India. And during the most turbulent period when we had multiple crises coming one after the other and some of the crises overlapping with each other. I think it was a teamwork at its best in the Reserve Bank of India. So I'm receiving this with a sense of deep gratitude, and it's a great honor for us from Reserve Bank of India to receive this award. I would like to thank the members of the jury, the Hindu Business Line, for conferring this award on the Reserve Bank. I would like to also thank the Honorable Minister for being here to give this award. And before I move to a serious reply on the question, I would just like to draw a reference to what the Managing Director Amul said about two people being visible on the road in the morning. Now, what was invisible at that time was that they were either carrying cash or their mobile through which they were making digital payments. And I think that is something which, on which Reserve Bank can take a lot of, a great amount of share of that work goes to the Reserve Bank of India. But coming back to your question, when the COVID hit, many reports were coming. I'll just take a couple of minutes. And in fact, before the lockdown was announced by the Honorable Prime Minister, and already we had got reports that this is going to be a kind of a major crisis in, which the world has not seen. We had a lot of reports coming in. So what we had done is that even before the lockdown was announced, we had set up a quarantine facility consisting of, with about 250 of our employees and service providers. We hired a hotel outside in the outskirts of Mumbai. We converted one of our large data centers into a quarantine facility. We hired a bus which was also quarantined, and these members of the staff were put in that quarantine facility, and all money market operations, because the markets, the money market operations, whether it is a debt market or the other segments of the money market, they have to function 365 days, 24/7. So we had housed all this facility in a quarantine, all these activities into a quarantine facility and ensured continuity of the money market operations. And I would like to mention here that this facility continued for more than 1 year, and the senior officers, including myself, we kept on talking to them through the video facility because it was at the beginning of the pandemic. 25th March, I think the Honorable Prime Minister announced the lockdown facility, but 4 or 5 days before that we had set up this quarantine facility. So after 2 or 3 months, when I asked the employees through the media, through the video conference, that I understand that you have problems, we are looking after your family members, don't worry, your family members are our responsibility. So that confidence we had given, but after 3 months when I asked them, how many of you would like to go back to your families, because I understand that you are there for 3 months, so we would like to change. Please take it from me, almost all of them said, sir, we will continue. Now, that is the dedication, that is the kind of dedication, and I must say that throughout this entire period, the entire teamwork in RBI, many of these suggestions came. What was challenging, right at the beginning, we had decided, the top management, when in fact we had to close down our office, myself and the deputy governors and some of the senior officers, we decided that let us not wait for a problem to arise and then respond to it. Let us try and anticipate problems and announce measures. So the first set of measures we announced on 27th of March, and then thereafter, almost every month we were announcing new measures to deal with the emerging challenges. So it was basically, if I can just sum it up, if I can capture it in 3 words, I think it was our endeavor was to be proactive, to be proactive, not wait for the problem to arise, but to, respond, to sort of take measures in advance, to be proactive, to be decisive, and to weigh the risks in full. In fact, somebody was asking me just now, we were encouraging our team members to say that if we are going to take a particular innovative measures, what can be the worst possible consequence out of it? what can be the worst downside of it, then we were weighing whether the worst consequence of our decision, whether it is something, the worst risks, whether it is something which we can manage or it is something uncontrollable. The moment we were convinced that something is still manageable, even if there was a 20% chance that yes, we will be able to manage the worst possible consequences, then we were decisive and we took that risk and announced that measures. So it was basically our endeavor was to be proactive, endeavor was to be decisive, and endeavor was also to weigh all possible risks before taking decision. And I'm happy to mention that the entire RBI team really rose up to the occasion. The crisis period is not over. We are still having other challenges coming up every day. But to this August gathering, I would like to say that the RBI remains committed to maintain the financial stability of our country, to ensure that the economy also continues to do well. Thank you. Sorry for that long answer.
That's amazing story. And I'm sure every single person here will join me in thanking you from their hearts, you and your staff who put themselves at risk during the COVID period and went away from their families, all in the cause of the nation. They are no less than the armed forces soldiers of this country. Congratulations and thanks.
Thank you.
So the second question I would like to go to is, so you're an ex-bureaucrat, a seasoned person who's held very high positions in government, and now you're the governor of the Reserve Bank of India. How has been the transformation from being a bureaucrat to a central banker? Did having been a bureaucrat help you in understanding the government's thinking, or when a finance ministry official or a ministry said something, to understand where they're coming from? So you had prior intelligence on how the mind works. Was that a help to you?
You see, what matters is an overall understanding of the economy. The government, whether it is the finance ministry or the overall government, their objective is to do something good for the economy, and this is everywhere in the world. And the central banks across the world also have a responsibility to the economy and to the financial sector. Both institutions are working for the people of the country and for the welfare of the country. So there has to be proper coordination, there has to be proper exchange of views between the government and the central bank everywhere. In fact, I have always believed that a good cooperation between the central bank and the government is absolutely essential to ensure that policy measures, whether taken by the government or taken by the central bank, are effective. And I can tell you that there has been excellent coordination and cooperation between the government and the central bank. In fact, there was this thinking in some parts of the world, that government and central banks should function in watertight compartments. Now there is a growing realization that each of these institutions, they need each other. In the central bank, we need the support of the government to get many legislative changes. Amendments to the Reserve Bank of India Act, giving us additional powers to regulate the cooperative banks, to regulate the NBFC sector. So we need certain additional powers for which we go to the government to get the acts amended. Government also needs the support of the of the central bank, that is in our case in the Reserve Bank of India, to deal with such the kind of crisis like we faced in our country, the fallout of COVID, then the fallout of Ukraine war, the inflation and other things. So therefore, what perhaps might have helped me is that I have seen both sides. And while being in government also, I was a member of the Central Board of the Reserve Bank. So it helped me because I had prior knowledge of how the Reserve Bank works, what were its responsibilities. And the fact that I was earlier in government and then had some idea about Reserve Bank's working and then moved to RBI, I think it did help me. Somebody may say that you are trying to keep, both your feet in two separate boats. It's not so. I think the idea is that even if you have your 1 foot here and 1 foot there, in my case, of course, it was not both my feet were in one boat when I went to the Reserve Bank of India. But you must know also where the other, how the other wheel of the system is moving so that there is a coordination. So that is something which might have helped in my case. But it was ultimately, I think, I would give the credit to the teamwork in the Reserve Bank of India, and I say it with all seriousness. There has been fantastic and great contribution of many of my colleagues in the Reserve Bank to what the Reserve Bank as an institution has been able to achieve.
Perfect. Reserve Bank is a standing example of an institution of excellence in this country, if there is one. If I were to ask you 3 important qualities that a central banker should have, what would those be?
I think, well, I think these are questions which should be asked when one demits office. So, but since you have asked, let me try and reply. I think the first is to have a strong common sense. I think that applies to every responsibility, and more so for a central banker. You must have, I feel it is very essential to have that strong common sense and to sort of be able to visualize how, monetary policy measures or how other regulatory or financial sector measures are really going to affect the real, the real economy. I think that is something which, something like the, a strong common sense can give. A strong common sense can confer. I think that is the first requirement. Second, of course, is that I think the capability to sort of keep an open mind, keep your eyes open, ears open, and have the capacity also to smell a crisis. I keep on telling my colleagues in the RBI, it's not just enough that we keep an open mind, listen to everyone, keep our eyes and ears open. I think each of us, it's a challenge, easier said than done. One must try and develop a capacity to smell a crisis before it has, come up. Now, this may sound very esoteric and philosophical, but essentially what I'm trying to say is that there should be capacity to anticipate a potential problem, a potential challenge, and be ready to deal with it, be ready to, defend the financial sector and the institutions. And the third, it will be a general point. I think teamwork, especially for the leadership of any institution like the Reserve Bank of India, which is spread all over the country, and we have regional offices everywhere. I think, and there is a lot of talent available down the road. I think internally within the organization also, there should be, I feel, active consultation, and decision making should be a kind of a collective process in which, of course, the leader takes the final decision, but I think each decision making should be the outcome of a collective process. So these are the 3 aspects which I would like to mention. Thank you.
Thank you. One last question. I can't help but ask you this.
Don't ask me about the next monetary policy.
No.
Other than that, you can ask me.
If you notice, I've stayed away from anything that is sensitive. So this question is more, about your style. Every monetary policy statement, we can see that you end with a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. Now, what is the thought process behind that? You effect a 50 basis points hike and then end with a Mahatma Gandhi quote. So what is the thought process behind that?
Now, I'll tell you how it started. When the COVID pandemic, started, lockdown was announced, there was a lot of anxiety among the people. The anxiety was not just in the financial markets, among the major economy, major players in our economy. There was a lot of anxiety among the people. There were a lot of, people were shaken out of their, we just didn't know, people just didn't know, all of us, we just didn't know where all it is going to end, what kind of damage it will cause to us, how the family members and how all of us, how we are going to come out of it and when it will end. So there was that kind of a kind of an anxiety all over the world. It's not something in India, but particularly it's not just in India, but all over the world. So it was necessary to give confidence to the markets and give confidence to the people. And, that is the time when we started making these monetary policy statements on the television, half an hour. Before that, the monetary policy statement was about 15 minutes. But we made it half an hour because there was no other communication, there was no other interaction. And there were just few of us who were attending the office, and through the television, through the YouTube channel of RBI, which many channels, television channels picked up. So it was necessary to give confidence to the markets. It was necessary to give confidence to the people. And we devised some of our own formulations to sort of, if you refer to the earlier policy statements, some statements we devised on our own and they have been accepted. But then, some of us, while we were discussing, we came across some quotations from Mahatma Gandhi, which I recalled, some of my colleagues also recalled. We found that they were very appropriate for that particular occasion. I'm not able to remember exactly the full word, but it was like, when the horizon is dark, when, it is faith that keeps you moving. So things like that we started giving, and after that, and we found that it really worked. And the feedback that we got from the market, from others, is we found that it really worked. So initially it started with a sense to give confidence to the markets, give confidence to the people, and what better than using a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. And it really worked. And since it worked, we have continued with that thereafter. And there are appropriate quotes from Mahatma Gandhi for almost every occasion. And there are quite a few of us in RBI who have, I think, read Mahatma Gandhi to a great extent. So we have some idea about it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for this session.
Thank you.
My hearty congratulations to you. And thank you once again for helming the country so well at the Reserve Bank of India. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor. That brings us to the end of the awards ceremony, ladies and gentlemen. It's now time to hear from our chief guest, a change maker in his own right. So, may we have your keynote address?
Dr. Nirmala Lakshman, the chairperson of the Hindu Group, Mr. Srinivasan, Director, Hindu BusinessLine, Governor Shaktikant Das, other winners, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first begin by congratulating the winners. While driving down here, I was reflecting on this whole issue of change makers, of people who made a difference, of organizers who made a difference. And what came to my mind was, that's only when you make a difference that you can actually say that you have justified your existence. That I have stood for something, I have done something which has made a difference, whether it's for a few people, whether it's for a whole country. That is the satisfaction. That is, I think, the truest reward. And that is what you will always remember when the time comes to say goodbye. That's what you will always remember, that I made a difference. Now, more than any award, it's that satisfaction which I think is most important, which tells you that, yes, you justified your existence, in plain and simple words. The awards are important, of course, and I want to congratulate the Hindu BusinessLine and the Hindu Group for instituting these awards. They are important because even when we do something good, something which has made a difference, we would like to be recognized. Apart, of course, from the fact that we have the satisfaction of having done something which made lives better, we would like that to be recognized. And those who recognize good work, those who recognize good people, are actually contributing to that goodness. It's your contribution to good work. It's your contribution to people who matter. It's more your contribution to the world, that you are recognizing, you are standing with people who made a difference. And I think that that's great. I want to congratulate the Hindu and the Hindu BusinessLine for doing this. Now let's look at the change makers which we met today. And I tell you, I mean, in some cases it was an eye-opener. When I heard the lady about, helping ladies build up careers. So this was the first time I heard about the possibility of a lady having guilt feelings for going out and achieving something because because of the feeling that I might somehow be neglecting my home or whatever. And can you imagine that? And can you imagine that burden? And can you imagine the fact that it is while bearing that burden that the women change makers, the lady change makers still work. They still make a difference. And they still go ahead in the world. And more of the ladies are going ahead in the world. But this was really an eye-opener. The Amul example. Now this is an example again which I have seen myself in my constituency. Our organization in my state, it's called ComFed, but it's patterned entirely on Amul, and it works. I've been to villages distributing dividends. So all the profit which ComFed earns or Amul earns goes back to the farmers. So it really, really makes a difference. Dr. Shaktikan Das, RBI. Even now, the developed world, let alone the developing world, the developed world has not really settled down and stabilized. They still are facing high levels of inflation. Their energy prices are still high. And here you have a country which emerged from COVID as the fastest growing large economy in the world. So we are the 5th largest economy in the world today. By 27, we'll be the 3rd largest economy in the world. Our rate of growth last year was about 7.5%. In the first quarter of 23-24, I believe it's almost 7.8% already. Now, so that's the rate of growth, and that also with stable, no inflation with stability, price stability. Now that's huge. The rate of growth continuing with price stability. Otherwise, you run the risk of inflation when you have such great rates of growth. That again shows a management. That again shows balance. And again, I think that there, the selection was just spot on. The financial aspects, the Jan Dhan account, it has made a huge difference, JAM. Now, at the push of a button, you give assistance to millions of people around the country without any intermediaries. And not only that, there are other initiatives which need to be recognized. For example, I see in my own constituency, the street vendors. We have a Swanidhi, the government of India has launched the Swanidhi program for street vendors, where the street vendors are first given a loan of 10,000 rupees without collateral. And then when he pays that back, he's given a loan of 20,000 rupees. When he pays that back, he's given a loan of 50,000 rupees. Now he uses that to buy the materials which he then vends. And all that procedure of buying that material and vending is digital. You'll come across street vendors who have that digital, that graphic which you aim at. And the digital transaction this has resulted is almost 1,04,000 crores. Can you believe that? And this has emerged also as a safety net for the street vendors. And this is a scheme which has really, really worked. When it was launched, people thought that it will end up in NPAs, etc. The NPAs have not happened. It works. It really works. And can you imagine that? You are touching the lowest rung, the street vendors. So these are the changes which are happening. They are happening all around us. And the fact that we are growing at 7.5% or 7.8% is because of those change makers. It's because of those innovative schemes. And because people had the courage to change. You need courage to change. You need courage to decide. But as somebody said, the only thing you have to fear is fear itself. And unless and until you have the courage to decide, you'll never really progress. And the change makers always are only those who have the courage to decide, who have the courage to do things. Now, in our country, there are many, many such examples. I'll tell you my own example, the power sector, for example. Now, can you believe it? That in the past about 9 years, incidentally, I became the Minister for Power in 2017, not 2019. I started off as Minister of State with independent charge for the Ministry of Power and the Ministry of New Renewable Energy. That's in 2017. So it's 6 years now, 6 years and a month since I've been here. But what we did was we transformed our country from power deficit to power surplus. Today, our established capacity is 425,000 megawatts. And we export electricity to Bangladesh, to Nepal. And when our government came to office, the power deficit in 2013 was about 4%. In 2011, it was almost about 11%. Today, the power deficit is zero. If there is any deficit, it's the 0.1% is because of system defects. We connected the whole country into one grid by adding 197,000 circuit kilometers, and now we can transfer 120,000 megawatts from one corner of the country to another. We strengthened the distribution systems by investing 210,000 crores. And we constructed 2,900 substations. We upgraded about 4,000 substations, added 8.5 lakh circuit kilometers of ST lines, LT lines, 750,000 transformers, etc. And the result of all that, end result of all that, is that the availability of power in rural areas has gone up from about 12.5 hours in 2015 to about 22 hours today. That's in rural areas. That's the national average, mind you. And in urban areas, has gone up to 23 hours and about 23.4 hours or something like that. Almost 24 hours. We made generators history. That's our country. We ensured universal access by connecting every village, every home, and to 29 million homes, 2 crore 90 lakh homes we connected in 19 months. The International Energy Agency called it the largest expansion of access ever in the history of the power sector. And all this was because somebody had the courage to decide. And so the Prime Minister said that, okay, 1,000 days, let's connect every village, every hamlet. We did it in 987 days, 987 days. And then he said that, okay, now let's connect every home. Nobody had the courage before that to say that I will connect every home. Can you imagine that? And we are talking about how many years after independence? 75 years after independence. Even 75 years after independence, you did not have universal access till somebody stood up and said, let's go ahead and do it. And we did it. And we did it. And we took certificates from every state that they have connected every willing household. Then after that, some states came back and they said some houses have been left out. I said, go ahead and connect it. They connected that, and I took a revised certificate from them that, yes, we've connected every household. We've emerged as the fastest growing renewable energy capacity in the world. Today, my renewable energy capacity is 185,000 megawatts. That's 44% of my installed capacity. And when we started in 2015, at that time, the Prime Minister had pledged, that's in 2015, mind you, when our renewable energy capacity was next to zilch, it was nothing. And he said that by 2022, I'll have 175 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity. Today my renewable energy capacity is 178 gigawatts. And I would have, this is 23, I would have achieved that in 2021 if COVID had not intervened. But, we got there. And we had pledged by that in COP21 in Paris that by 2030 we'll have 40% of our capacity coming from non-fossils. We achieved that in 2021, 9 years in advance. And today it's at 44%. So you need to decide. You need to decide. And if you decide and you go out and you say that, okay, I'll do it, you can do it. When I joined, the power sector was doddering. I had about 70,000, megawatts under NCLT. There was a stress in the system. The outstanding dues of generation companies was about 135,000 crores, 135,000 crores. And the AT&C losses were 27%. All the discounts were impecunious. And today, We brought down the overdues from 135,000 crores to 60,000 crores. The current payments are all up to date. We are probably the only power system in the world where the current payments are all up to date totally. Why? We put in place a system whereby if the distribution company does not pay for the power, its connectivity to the exchange, power exchange goes off. It can't buy power from the exchange. So they started paying promptly. We said that, whatever payments you make will first go against the older dues. So we made installments for the older dues. So first you pay that installment, then you pay the current dues, and then your connectivity to the exchange remains. And it works. When we put that system into place, 13 discoms, they had to do load shedding, then they all started paying. But now, the losses have come down from 27% to 14%. That is the AT&C loss of the country, 14%. And we thought that if we come down to 15%, it will be great. So we decided that we'll make it viable. We made it viable. We made it viable. And the legacy dues have come down to 60,000 crores, and all the installments are being paid in time. So wherever you are, the lesson is go ahead and decide. The lesson is go ahead and do it. And it can be done. You can emerge. We can emerge as world leaders. We emerged as world leaders in the renewable energy business, in the power sector. We emerged as world leaders. And that holds good for every sector in our country. We can emerge as world leaders. We are growing rapidly. We will continue growing rapidly. And all that is because now people have started standing up in different corners of the country to be counted, to make a difference, and to really sort of do something which makes life better for their community, for their state, and for their country. So the number of those such people is growing. And it will continue growing, provided we get together off and on and recognize them. That's why this is important. What you are doing is important because of that. You will encourage more people to go out and make a difference. So congratulations, Hindu. Congratulations, Hindu BusinessLine. Incidentally, one of the reasons I agreed to come, because I find that 2 hours is a bit much. you have a constituency, so 2 or 3 days goes away in the constituency, then you have ministries. And so 2 hours is a bit much. But I said, Hindu, credibility. I think you have maintained your credibility over 150 years or something like that. I mean, that's great. And maintaining your credibility, your uprightness, your probity is great. And your language, of course, is great. So congratulations. Congratulations, Hindu. Congratulations, Hindu BusinessLine. Great work. And of course, congratulations to all the winners. You can really be proud of having done something which made a difference, and of course, you can be proud of having been recognized. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you very much, sir, for those wonderful words. Insightful, meaningful, informative. I now request Dr. Nirmala Lakshman, chairperson of the Hindu Group, to present a memento to our chief guest. I'm going to request our dignitaries to stay on stage. It's time for a group photograph. And I'd like to request all our winners to quickly make your way up onto stage for a group photograph. And please do carry your trophies with you. May we have all our winners on stage as quickly as we possibly can while we clear the stage. I must admit, this is the closest I've come to becoming famous. So many of our dignitaries, while I congratulate all our winners, I'd like our dignitaries, the winners may take your seats. May I request the winners to take their seats? We have published a special BusinessLine Changemaker tabloid, and I must tell you the tabloid chronicles the journey, the transformation, hard work of all the trailblazers tonight. We will be unveiling it tonight. The special issue will also be circulated along with the Monday edition of the BusinessLine across the country. And for that, to join our dignitaries on stage, may I request Mr. Tribhuvan Adhikari, Managing Director and CEO, LIC Housing Finance Limited, Mr. Sudhir Gupta, Executive Director, J&K Bank, Mr. LV Navneet, Chief Executive Officer of the Hindu Group, and Mr. K. Venugopal, Chairman, Kasturi and Sons Limited. May we have all of you on stage, please, for the tabloid launch. May we have the copies of the tabloids given to each of our people on stage. Can we step a little forward, please, so we get a little more light on you? A little forward, thank you. I'd just like for you to showcase the tabloid. Thank you very much. May I request all our dignitaries to take your seats. And please remain seated as I call upon Mr. Suresh Balakrishna, Chief Revenue Officer, the Hindu Group, to deliver a vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Suresh Balakrishna.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. You know, last night we were discussing this function and we were discussing who will stand where, how the awards were to be given. And my editor rapped my knuckles saying that the vote of thanks, and I'm a serial vote of thanks giver at all Hindu events. Last time when I gave the vote of thanks, I said something about the dinner being open and the bar being open, etc. And nobody waited for the national anthem. Everybody became an Usain Bolt even before I finished. So I would request all of you all to let me finish my quick speech on the for the thank you, because we'll be playing the national anthem after that, and I'll request all of you all to stand up for the anthem, post my talk, and then we can all be Usain Bolt and head to either dinner or networking or the bar, whatever suits us. So, first of all, Honorable Minister, Shri R.K. Singh, thank you so much, and thank you for those kind words about the Hindu. They really encouraged us, and thank you for the 2 hours that you repeatedly mentioned you spent with us. Thank you very much. All the nominees and winners, thank you very much for turning up and making this award really special. The jury, you saw all of them, a couple of them were here, thank you so much. All of y'all, the audience, a round of applause to all of y'all for having sat here and encouraged all those winners, thank you so much. Those 2 wonderful artists, Eshna Kuti, the hula hoop lady, and Padma Shankar, the violinist. Thank you so much for wonderful entertainment. ITC Maurya, As usual, wonderful event, and I'm sure the food will be very yummy as well, like your reputation. Our event partner, Hyperlink Brand Solutions. As always, Hyperlink has supported us in all our events, and Gautam and company, thank you so much for another wonderful event. But all this wouldn't have been possible without our sponsors. Our presenting sponsor, Shastra University. Vaidi, my dear friend, was unwell, couldn't be here, but thank you so much for being the title sponsor for this event. Associate partners, Life Insurance Corporation of India, Casa Grande, Gujarat Mineral Development Corporation, Punjab and Sindh Bank, United India Insurance, LIC Housing Finance Limited, GAIL and NTPC. Our banking partner, J&K Bank, online grocery partner, Big Basket, tourism partner, Bihar Tourism, education partner, SSVM Institutions, television partner, NewsX, thank you so much for the coverage, gifting partner, Anand Prakash, those goodie bags that were given out, knowledge partner, Ashoka and Deloitte, and validation partner, Neeti Consulting. And last but not the least, my dear friend and fabulous host who's conducted this event so seamlessly and with so much dignity, Brian Tellis, take a bow. Thank you so much. And as the evening draws to an end, thank you each and every one of you. And please do stay back after this event, network. There are a lot of interesting people you would like to talk to. Please have the yummy food, share a glass of wine if you will with us, and then go home because by the time the traffic would have ebbed. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, firstly, thank you, Suresh Balakrishna. May I request all of you to stand for the national anthem, please.
पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you, everyone. That brings to an end the BusinessLine Changemaker Awards 23. I'm Brian. Thank you very much for being the audience you have been. I'd like to sign off